Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Slick, and in this video, we'll be giving you the ultimate guide to playing as the Arbiter in Halo Wars 2. I'm talking the ultimate guide. I'm saying leader powers, build orders, everything that you need to know about the Arbiter so that you will be better than the average Joe playing this game. This leader is truly epic. The numerous strategies he has available make him an exciting and effective leader to play with in all playlists. It doesn't matter if it's 1v1, 2v2, or 3v3, the Arbiter will give you a good time regardless. Super fast before we get into the video, just have to say we really appreciate your support, guys. You guys really keep us going in the Halo community with your contributions every day here at Breaking the Clutch. Over half of you watching right now are not subscribed, which is totally chill, but consider hitting that sub button if you did enjoy the content. Additionally, like the video if you deem it worthy, and check out our memberships page. We've got multiple member tiers and we kept them pretty cheap. They give you all kinds of cool things like emojis to use here on YouTube, loyalty badges, and first pick on community play days. If you're a member, you get picked first, just so you know. Thanks again, guys. We couldn't do this without you. All right, enough sappy stuff. Let's get back to the video. Although not the absolute best leader out of the entire pool, his challenging and different playstyle really make you think outside the box. What makes the Arbiter so special? I'd have to say his biggest and best component is that of Conduit of Rage. Conduit of Rage is a passive leader power that means it's active at all times, that gives health, regeneration, and speed boost to the Arbiter's units for a brief time whenever you use a proccable leader power. That means whenever you can call down a leader power in a certain area, then you get this special ability. This really can turn the tide of a fight very quickly and give many unprepared players a quick smackdown, like straight up just super fast destruction. Additionally, Phantoms, a garrisonable flying unit, add new ways for banished players to utilize infantry units. Hunters, say originally slow and tanky, walk across the map in 4 hours, can hop in a Phantom and literally fly around the map. That's right, you can have an anti-vehicle air unit. Technically, that's what that means. Lastly, the Arbiter is known for his stasis abilities. Elite Enforcers, another Arbiter-specific unit, are fast-building killers with a special ability to stun an enemy unit or a building for a brief time. Now, with that being said, let's check out the Arbiter's epic leader wheel. So if we start with the first one, we actually do have Teleport. Of course, Teleport is very standard. It's also really effective for any banished leader, especially hero-based plays, anything like that, where you just want to get in and out really quickly, dodge leader powers and things like that. So of course, this is a pretty standard thing. Notice it can't be upgraded, so it's just a base Teleport, nothing too crazy. Next, we're moving on to Stasis Mine. So Stasis Mine 1 and 2 are really good. They are really effective at just not only proccing Conduit, but also dropping very quickly in crappy situations, stopping your enemies from moving forward, and various other things. And then moving on to the next leader power, that would be Conduit of Rage. Now, Conduit of Rage does have 3 different tiers to it. Conduit of Rage is, as I said earlier, pretty much the #1 thing that the Arbiter has. So it says, whenever leader powers used, nearby units and structures heal and gain a brief boost to speed and damage. Consecutive leader powers extend that buff. So what they're saying is whenever, not in general, but whenever you drop one of your leader powers, so whenever you activate Teleport, Stasis Mine, Plasma Bolt, Stasis, Elite Spirit Assault, Mass Stasis, or I don't think Mass Cloaking, so all those, then you actually do get Conduit of Rage procced. And what that does, of course, give you a nice boost in speed, damage, and of course, it gives you some health regen as well, and you can upgrade it 3 times. Moving on to number 4, you get Plasma Bolt. Plasma Bolt is a really questionable leader power in my opinion. It is cool, it is fun, it's a good way to actually proc Conduit of Rage. If you use Plasma Bolt, you can actually pick 3 quick locations very quickly, will drop 3 Plasma Bolts out of the air and then do a lot of damage. I say a lot of damage, like, you know, infantry units get hit hard by it. Some buildings, if you hit it with 3 times, it actually will wipe out a building pretty easily, and so on and so forth. I really don't pick it. I'll get to what I normally go for and my progression wheel in a second as soon as I'm done. Phantoms, of course, as you guys know, you get to buy Phantoms. Stasis is a really fun thing where you get to just pick, you basically get to play God temporarily. You get to pick a small location with a little ring of effect, and you just drop it and then freeze the enemies. It's really fun. I like to use it a lot. It really does change tides of battles. You know, you just got to get used to it and decide what you think. You can also freeze enemy production, enemy bases, fun things like that. I've also seen some crazy plays with stasis where you actually drop it on your base to keep your enemy from attacking you, and then basically prolonging the life of a base. If you have, say, a small base, if it's getting into the red, you drop your own stasis on your own base, and then your enemy can't attack it for a prolonged period of time. Next leader power is Elite Spirit Assault. This is by far my favorite option of the entire leader wheel. Effectively, what you do is you drop in 3 squads of veteran elite enforcers. They will wipe a building so fast. They have stasis mines as their Y ability, and they're just overall really effective. If you have an enemy mini base you just want to basically erase, you walk over across the map with a single grunt, call this in. It also has really good timings with pushes. If you're pushing, as soon as I have a build in this video where I hit full pop very quickly, and then I rush an enemy, and I actually time it. As soon as I get full pop, I push across the map, and then I call in the elite enforcers the second that I can. The timing is just really great. Power Surge. Now, of course, with an ability like Conduit of Rage, you want to be able to drop in all these leader powers very quickly. Now, that might be why the developers decided not to give him any super crazy deadly things, like instead, like let's say they did like a Mean Beam, for example, or a Glassing Beam. I forget the actual name of it. I've said Mean Beam way too many times in my life. Then what they did here was use Power Surge. So what that does is allow you to buy all of these leader abilities very frequently and very quickly, and just drop them in like hell. If you get Power Surge 1, 2, and 3, you then have the fastest possible leader ability purchases and uses to any leader in general. So it's really, really fun and really, really effective. Not to mention also reduce the cost, as you see, so every single time you upgrade it, all of these leader powers then start coming up more and more and more frequently. You're dropping stasises, you're dropping mines, you're dropping plasma bolts, you're teleporting all across the map, and you can do it very quickly for cheap. Moving on, we have Mass Stasis. Now, Mass Stasis is the same thing as regular stasis, but on a very massive scale. Go figure. You drop it, it can freeze an entire army easily if your enemy isn't microed properly. Let's say your enemy's pushing you and you're not ready for it at all. You just drop this down, it's fairly cheap, and then you freeze the enemy for a prolonged period of time, and it is just absolutely effective at just ruining people's days. They think they're going to do it. If you're trying to super turtle, for example, you drop a mass stasis, and all of a sudden the enemy's push that could have broken you. Let's say there's vultures, right? Massive thing of vultures comes flying in, you drop massive stasis on them, and you produce like 10 more wolverines, and you drive over there, you have a chance, right? It's really cool. All right, so we also have mass cloaking now. Mass cloaking, all owned deployed units gain a temporary siphon, speed boost, and cloak. A lot of people forget this, but as soon as you drop mass cloaking, you do get a siphon out of it. So of course it cloaks all your units, makes them super strong, and of course fast, and that is just so great about mass cloaking. I really love it. It's easily one of my favorite 12 o'clock leader powers. I know it's a weird one. It's not as like hard hitting as say like Cat or anything else, right? But still, it's a really, really cool 12 o'clock power. Really, really love it. And there you have it. That is the absolutely awesome list of leader abilities that the Arbiter has at his disposal. Of course, you saw me get a little questionable about Plasma Bolt. I really do still agree with those things. You guys let me know. Have you had success with Plasma Bolt? Put it in the comment section below. Let other people know. All right, now the fun part is getting into the Arbiter's numerous build orders. There are 5 in particular that I have chosen that, in my opinion, best represent the competitive and fun abilities of the Arbiter in a big scale. All 5 of these build order guides will provide you with some level of excitement and fun in all of your games. I'd say most of them are actually competitive, and you can use them in 1v1s when you're actually playing against good players. I totally recommend this guy. This Arbiter, this leader is absolutely fantastic. There's nothing to say. Now you guys are probably curious, the 5 build orders I have picked out in particular are: number 1, the Arbiter Ghost Rush build, which is in my opinion the strongest opener you can do. The Arbiter's Enforcer Rush, which is a quick way to show up at the enemy base in a short amount of time with a full pop army and absolutely melt buildings before your enemy can even react. Arbiter's Phantom Play, which is a really fun mid-game and into late game build that you can do to really attack anybody. Arbiter's really fun and exciting Cloak Grunt Rush, which is a fun way to show up with basically undetectable armies in less than 5 minutes. And then lastly, the Arbiter's Early Hero Push, where you use the Arbiter as kind of the sweeping queen on a chessboard to just fly in from the back and start killing literally everything or cutting down buildings that your enemy really wants to have. That being said, I will now jump into my live demonstration of all these builds. I will also have a link in the description down below where you can go and then click on and look at the Halo Waypoint report of the game and see the exact build order for these games listed, and then you can see literally the timestamps when I produced what I produced, and everything right there. Try to follow along in the video. If you can't, just go ahead and follow that. Alrighty guys, thank you so much and enjoy these builds. Alright, first things first, Ghost, Harvester, Harvester. Send them out. Grab the stuff. Get the stuff. Is this informative?
Do it!
Do it! So the reason you do double Harvester here after your Ghost is because you want that supply income. That's your #1 care in the world right now, okay? Then I always send my rally point to my nearest Harvester. Upgrade the Harvester as soon as it comes up. Boom. Third building, gonna be an Extractor. If you're on maps where you have too many bases you're trying to buy, then you actually just want to go ahead and skip the Ghost build. Don't build the Ghost at first. Grab the stuff. Be happy. Alright.
Money.
We're going to go for Stasis Mine in this one. Just because it'll be much easier to deal with stuff. Here we go. So we're actually going to go Harvester third here. And then we're going to buy this mini. And then what we're going to do is we're immediately going to go scout their other extractor. Or I'm sorry, their extractor crates. What am I saying?
What are you saying, actually?
I don't know. What is this? This cheese ply?
What are you doing the Marines get you?
The Marines are here, bro. We're going to upgrade this extractor the second we have 300 power. I'm a little late behind that, but that's alright. And then we're going to go Harvester 5th. And then we're going to run out here. We're going to try to bring our grunts up after we buy this mini. We're going to go try to grab ourselves some notes. So this is a new play. Nick is also breathing into his mic profusively, which is just great. So we're going to go Harvester on this
Excuse
one.
me, what?
Alright. Now on these mini bases, for this build in particular, you can actually go into raid camp if you see that your enemy is going infantry. And you normally know when you have the Ghost after you grab a power crate, after you steal the enemy power crates, if you can pull that off, you'll know what the enemy is going. Like this one, say I'll go raid camp. Now we have another leader point. We're actually going to go for Conduit of Rage. And now at this point, as soon as that second mini base comes up, you're just producing Ghosts for the rest of the game. Because you're just going to win, alright? Now I can't win, or I can't take this node here in this situation. I'm going to go for a scout here. Let's just pretend like, you know, okay. Alright, so here's where you'd know what your enemy is going 100%. Around 2 minutes and 10 seconds if you did everything super fast. We got a raid camp coming up in the back. So you'll notice we're sitting around, as soon as you hit 450 power after you've made a Ghost at every single location, go for the Ghost shielding. So you're going to have 4 Ghosts out very quickly with shields. And that's the play. Alright. Make a Ghost. Make another Ghost. Okay, grunts aren't shooting anything. So we got 2 Ghosts here. So another thing you want to do too is keep your Ghost kind of back, because people are going to look to see what the Arbiter's going, because he's got a couple plays. So if you can actually hide your Ghost until around the 4-minute mark when you finally push, that's kind of the best case scenario. So you're going to see him kind of tucking him off here to the side. And I'm also going to do just a quick little scout here. Now this next part's going to seem interesting, right? So normally at this part what you do is consider going into something else, right? Like you keep producing the Ghost, but what I actually like doing is sacking a Harvester going into another extractor and just getting closer and closer to the Tech 2 play. So you're going to see you're a little bit behind here in builds, but then it just kind of picks right back up. And Nasty Nick has left the party because he's a bot. So you're going to see at this point we have around 7 Ghosts. Let's see if Nick lags out of this game too. That'd be epic. I didn't even grab this node. Sorry, bad example, but that's what you do. Alright. So once you have around 10 Ghosts, that's when I like to push. Look at that sweat lord. Oh my god. We're gonna go up here, we're gonna upgrade that extractor. Make another Ghost. Look at this. Oh my god. This is crazy. So see, what you do is you kind of attack around the, like I said, around 10 Ghosts. I think it's normally around like 430. Right? Yeah, because then you have 2 coming out here. You got another one produced here. If you have another, if you're able to keep or sack this and go into a Harvester, please do. I recommend it. It's all up to you. And of course, Nick's got 400 anti-vehicle turrets, so we can't break this right now, which no one would do on a normal basis. But anyway, so that's kind of how you get into that. And then whenever you get up near an enemy army, and trying to attack them, always what you do is you spam the stasis mine, try to like kind of snap, or trap them. And you go in for the rams and whatnot after that, and then you have this really nice setup where you've got these super strong, extra DPS, and really aggressive health re-healing units, which are just really killing the beginning of the game. It's basically impossible for anybody to take over the map in that situation. And this works really well in 1s and 2s and 3s. A little harder to pull off in 3s, but I totally recommend giving it a shot. It's a great build. From here, you just tech up, right, as soon as you can. You tech up around, so what is that, 5 minutes, 20-second mark. If you get more nodes and whatnot too, you know, you're looking great. And then what you do is you just kind of go right into either vehicles or any of the other things that you could possibly think of. The standard, stereotypical, say, tier 2 banished units. You just want to go into banshees or something like that. So yeah, that is the GOplay. I've actually made a video on this previously, so hopefully this isn't new to anybody. But yeah, let's get into the next build. Alright, so this one we're actually going to go Harvester first, immediately send our guys out. Make sure you get 1 power crate and 1 supply crate from the mix, or at least 1. Alright, this one we're going to be doing Enforcers. This one's going to be a lot of fun. Next we're going to go... I always struggle between the two, but I normally pick Stasis Mine. Just to, you know, add some form of defense. So we're going to go Harvester second as well. And we're actually, notice that we're not producing any units right now, right? We're just kind of stacking up our cash momentarily. Third, we're going to go Power Extractor. And then what we're going to do as soon as this guy's done collecting crates, we're going to go get a mini base. Do the same deal, kind of like the ghost opener, just no ghost off the rip. So with this one, you also want to complement it with some grunts occasionally, but I normally like to get my raid camps up first before I get rolling with anything else. Now with this one, you could also do lockdown base or not. Totally up to you. Totally your call. I like to have some units out on the map. Nick, do you remember how epic the Enforcer Rush was when we started? Upgrade the Extractor.
Back in my day,
Enforcer
Rush was amazing.
Yeah.
Used to play that all the time.
That was one of my favorite builds. Straight up. So we go, we got that one. We're actually going to go get another supply crate each from all the grunts. We got our first one up. We're going to start our Enforcers here. We're actually going to lock it down maybe just for effect here. The second that raid camp comes up, that first one, you just want to get the Enforcers rolling. I'm actually going to take a second mini base here. Right about now, you'd be getting this mini base stolen, so that's why I'm instinctively running out there to grab it.
Did I get it from you?
No, you didn't yank it. You tried.
Yikes.
Yikes. So here you're going to notice we're going to have a lot of supply for a second, so I'm going to make another Harvester on the back there, and then I'm just going to keep, you just have to constantly keep bouncing back and forth. There's like a sweet spot for when you push with this build, and I'd say it's right around 3 minutes, 3 minutes mark, 3 minutes 15, 3 minutes 30 seconds at the latest. Second one, get another Harvester rolling. And second one, we're going to do Conduit of Rage. So we get the crazy conduit benefits on our units and make them extra strong and just super deadly. I'm going to go towards the node after I get all those. You're going to notice a lot of similarities between like the build styles where, like, you know, despite the units or the buildings you choose and the units you produce, you know, you kind of have the same rhythm, right? Where you take minis and you run out. You don't necessarily need 2 minis, but like say in 2s or 3s, you're going to only be able to get 1. And that's why I just am throwing a Harvester on the second one just to kind of, you know, make sure there's no like production differential here. Notice that I'm still not doing anything, right?
What are your thoughts on snagging a mini from the enemy team?
You can absolutely do that if you want. It's just you have to sculpt your build around it, right? Because you have to financially be able to afford it. It's kind of like the hardest thing. I'm gonna start making some grunts in the mix now too. Alright, so you're gonna notice, look at this, at 3 minutes and 15 seconds, right? I've got 9 Enforcers, 10 Enforcers now here in a second. I'm just gonna hit Nick's base immediately. And then I'm gonna actually set my rally point on his front door. So I'm just gonna kind of offset this this Enforcer production with some grunt production as well. Alright, so I'm gonna get this node and I'm just gonna send these guys up. I only want 1 node really. Don't really need to have any more than that. You can see, like, we have this massive army rolling out at 3 minutes and 15 seconds when I left my base. And like, this is all you need. And a lot of people like to spam the Y button and use the stasis mines. I tell them, nope. I just kind of save them until, like, let's say you run into a hero, right? Like, say you run into Atriox Chosen or something. You just want to keep spamming one grenade at a time just to keep it in one spot. But really what you want to do here is pull up on the enemy base, right? And then find the turrets, find the value buildings, and just kind of rinse them. And you'll see how strong they are. We're just going to drop these mines here to give them all the abilities. See how they all have arrows now? They're just going to be able to walk through some of these buildings. And look at Nick's amazing build order here. Top notch. We're just going to keep producing them until we're full pop, which happens at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. You get full pop with this build, which is kind of insane, right?
This is why you scout.
This is why you scout, yeah. Just gonna keep running around here. So I got a couple enforcers in this mix. I'm gonna start stunning this. Okay, I'm just stunning it just to get my target fire off of it. And that's pretty much the build right there. Then, so what you do as soon as you hit full pop, you want to sack one of the raid camps, go to extractor. Normally speaking, you won't just hit full pop. It won't be that easy, right? But in this situation, you know, we're just kind of demonstrating the build for you. So yeah, so that was the Elite Enforcer play. After you get this extractor up, you want to upgrade it, keep producing these units here and keep them pumping, right? You don't have to go for the upgrade, I don't know why I did that. Upgrade this extractor as soon as it comes up, and then you want to go into your typical banished plays, right? You want to go into double Apex to produce Banshees, you want to go to double Foundries to produce Marauders, or you can kind of just keep running with your army here until you get into raid tanks and Tech 3, that's fine too. This works really well, in my opinion, in all game types, 1, 2s, and 3s. Simply because, I mean, any kind of these early cheese strats, right, where you have these anti-building guys, you just walk through enemies. They're just like, they're just so good in the 2s and 3s. And then after that, you can go into Phantoms. Phantoms are a great play after this. Or go into Stasis, in my opinion. I don't like Plasma Bolt because it's way too gambly. And then, of course, fourth leader point, you always want to go into Elite Spirit Assault and keep dropping in all these LPs that you can around your units such that you get the conduit benefits, right? Like you can see this ring. Everything that I drop near in this ring gets these conduit benefits, right? Then they get the increased speed, they get health regen. It's just, you know, it's epic. Like, I mean, Conduit Rage is so good. It's epic. And then, of course, if anybody steps on these mines, they get stasis and hurt. There you go. That was that, and on to the next build.
GG.
Okay, so Phantoms, we go Harvester. Send your guys out. You want to get 1 stack of power and 2 stacks of supply crates. You can actually go 2 grunts as well off the start and send them to a mini base. So with Phantoms, you just kind of want to, you want to get to your 3rd leader point, get a good amount of supply income, and you want mainly just a massive infantry army. I'm sending my guy out to the first mini. Going out to that one because that one's normally the one stolen here. For leader powers, you want to go Stasis Mine. Upgrade this, the Harvester the second it's done. Then you want to go Power Extractor for the 3rd building here. So it's kind of similar to the previous build. You just kind of want a supply heavy intro. Then what you're going to do is you're going to grab 1 more Harvester on your main, and then you're going to grab these mini bases here. If you can, you grab 2 and 1s. In 2s and 3s, you want at least 1. And then you want to upgrade that extractor. See the timing of that? You get power crate, and then the second that your power crate's done, you can upgrade the extractor. You got to run around, get all the supply crates that you can, and then you're going for nodes. It's just pretty stereotypical opener. I like to put units on hold position. Let's go grab this. Then I'm actually going to go for an extractor. So this one's a little bit different, right? So I'm actually going for more power income. I wouldn't always recommend that you do that. Like, if you're looking at your enemies and you're like, oh, okay, like I know what they're doing, I know what their plays are, then you can get into the Tech 2. Tech 2 is the most ideal in my opinion because you want to get into Rangers as quickly as possible. So you're going to upgrade this extractor the second you can, and then you're actually going to go double raid camp on these mini bases. So the cool thing about Phantoms, of course, is that they are infantry carriers. But, they won't do any good unless you have any infantry to put in them. So, yeah. So second I get 300. Second extractor goes up. In terms of leader points, I guess I didn't talk about this, but I'm going to go Stasis Mine, Conduit, and then Phantom. So this is actually pretty debatable. Like, a lot of people come up with different methodologies and what they want to do and why they do certain things. But for me, I like to go Stasis Mine just because it's mad cheap. Teleport is cool, but it's weird, right? Like, if you're in an engagement, you got to teleport to like a different location in order to get the conduit proc. So that's when you got to ask yourself, like, do I really want to do that? So I like to go Stasis Mine. It's pretty, you know, it's very controllable, easy to comprehend. I'm grabbing nodes ASAP here. And then, oh, I didn't even mention this, sorry, but just producing grunts kind of endlessly. You know, I got the double raid camp up, so if you're going against UNSC, right, like, okay, so they go into, let's say they go into hero, right? Then what you do is just straight up go into, say, you go into grunt mines or ghosts from here. You can't go grunt mines. You go camo and then ghosts. I meant to say camo. And then what you do is you get some rams off on the leaders if possible. But if you're going against UNSC infantry or something, then you just kind of opt into massive suicide grunt plays. So that's why you got the raid camps up. Otherwise, you know, you're just trying to race to Tech 2 as quickly as possible. And then from there, make your decision on what you want to go into in terms of units. And it's always important to, like, get the assessment first, like, what is the enemy doing? So right around the 3-minute mark, I like to send a guy. Of course, I'm 20 seconds late, but I'm talking and doing all this stuff at the same time. You see, we actually have good power node control, and then right about now is when you'd see an enemy army. So, you know, bring your units back as best you can, get the node control as best you can. I like to rift, I like to take these. I got my rally point set over here, which is actually not really sensible anymore. This guy's gonna die. Let's go over here, put him on hold position. So we're going Tech 2 here. Now what you want to do is upgrade your harvesters, get those all done. And then your next goal is actually going to be to buy another base. If you don't, basically what you have the raid camps for is the capability to build into like say Rangers right now. Like I said, right about now is when like you'd see enemy heroes showing up and whatnot with an army. You just double produce Rangers and get rolling into it. Let's see. So we actually want to go for this one. I like to go Apex, buy a base, and then what I'll do is I'll save up money and go for an extractor if I can in a minute. So you really don't want to go over 40 pop in grunts, and that's totally my opinion. A lot of people disagree with that. But in my opinion, if you go over that, you know, you're going to start really messing up. You're not going to be able to get as many phantoms involved. So I like to just get a lot of grunts out, stop at a certain point, and then just keep producing them if I start losing them. Still haven't gotten a scout on blue, which is kind of frustrating, right? Because you did a good job of just randomly sending some units over. But in this situation, you know, we're not really too upset. Because right now we have a good starting eco, 2 bases, and are forced to defend with it. And now we have vision on their base. Let's see. So then we go to phantoms immediately. You're going to notice that we're going to be able to start producing these phantoms from both locations very soon. So I'm just going to immediately start producing the phantoms. I want to get a couple of rangers out just because I was looking at his base and it looks like, so he's going into, say, double vehicle production probably or something like that is what I would assume. And then we're going to go right into hunters. You just want to keep the, phantom production going the whole time. I actually still haven't put a building here. Like say this 9th building, or I'm sorry, 7th building, I can't count, is, you know, totally situational. It totally depends on what you want to do. It's like, okay, so I see that the enemy's doing this, that, the other thing. Okay, all right, well, I will adjust to that. Keep the phantom production going. Let's see, I already got a war council coming up. I like to go Arbiter as well, because of course his Y ability does proc those. And you want to put your special infantry units into the phantoms, right? So I'm going to put a couple more hunters involved. And with the Arbiter, the coolest thing is that you can have these flying anti-building killers, right? So we're going to go into Arbiter's Champion. I want to get that upgrade and make them even stronger. The idea is that you're kind of playing this nice defensive strategy effectively until, well, your max pop, and then you push. So right now you see I just hit 78. I got an engineer out as well in the mix. I'm just going to start throwing some of my grunts into these phantoms. And I'm just going to keep teching up my base. So the reason why I went for this is because having a couple engineers is really helpful. They just directly complement and offset the... They directly complement and offset Conduit of Rage, because Conduit of Rage is really, really weak when you don't need it to be. So here we go. We're going to load up all the units into this. And we're going to get aggressive. So like I said, 4th point, we're actually going to Elite Spirit Assault. We're going to stack up all the phantoms right here. You notice that even though I stopped producing grunts at 40 population, they still are going to, like, I mean, I still have so many, right? And that's the crazy part about it is, of course, in this situation, we're playing against easy AI just to demonstrate. But, you know, if you keep them all alive, you know, you won't really have that many phantoms. So you just want to try to get as many as you can into the mix without getting too crazy. So I'm not actually going to waste my conduit here. But normally what you do is you pull up on the base, you drop the conduit, you get the massive speed boost, the health regen, and then you just start melting bases and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty sweet. Of course, in the beginning, you're going to be very defensive, and you're effectively going to hold off multiple enemies. So I'm going to drop a shield there. You might also want to consider upgrading grunts too, getting the tech up, getting camo, and then the next tier as well. But this grunt combination is actually really good against, say, air units, if your enemy goes into banshees. And of course, the phantoms, you just kind of want to produce to kind of put whatever else you need to counter into them, right? So you just do, okay, well, I want to kill buildings, you put enforcers in it. I want to kill vehicles, you put hunters in, right? You just kind of keep that theme going. And like I said, you notice I pushed out, as soon as I hit max pop, they kind of complement each other. Right as soon as you hit max pop, you're able to call in Elite Spirit Assault. And then, you know, you just kind of run this amazing, like, conduit train on enemy buildings and bases. So, yeah, so that's effectively everything that you need to know about the Phantom plays. I'm going to call on the Spirit Assault group here and try to get these guys some conduit buff here, so you kind of stack units up as soon as that thing drops. All these guys are going to get the buff, and then we have more building killers to drop a base even quicker. You don't necessarily need to drop the Enforcer play on top of your army. If you want to actually do it on like a mini base or something along those lines, it's also a good play. But yeah, so this is the conduit. Of course, you tech up your base and you want to do blah, blah, blah. I think my number one note I want to leave you with is decide what to put on this 7th building spot very quickly. I totally forgot about it. I'm sorry that I'm demoing that. But I think I got the core base of the build down for you guys. So a lot of it is still improvisation. You got to defend with your grunts. Got to make sure you have a lot of grunts out. And then you want to stop it around 40 pop. Otherwise, you will swarm your army and you won't be able to produce very many phantoms. You really don't need too many. You know, the idea is that you want to have like 4 or 5 maximum with some engineers to support, and then the rest are all special infantry units that counter whatever the hell your enemy is deciding to do. You just keep dropping into Stasis Mine and the Elite Enforcers, and then of course your next thing, sometimes I go Stasis. I'll do something that's quick and easy and cheap just to allow the conduit to keep rocking. So there you go. That was Phantoms. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this one's actually a really fun one. This is going to be the Cloak Grunt Arbiter strat. For this one, you want to do 1 Harvester and then immediately produce 2 Grunts, and then run it across the map with 1 of your Grunts to try and steal your enemy supply crates. Your goal for this play is actually just going to be to produce Grunts, take power nodes, and have a grand old time. You want to go Stasis Mine as your first LP, Harvester second, upgrade the first one, and of course, we will have the build list of everything that happened down in the description below. If you feel slightly overwhelmed at all of this information flying at you, there will be the breakdown from the Halo Waypoint match that you can go and check out. So, to talk a little bit more about Cloak Grunts. Cloak Grunts are kind of clutch because they can take nodes in a very quick and easy way without sacrificing units, generally speaking. And even better than that, even more so, you can actually take a node and keep the sentinels in play. So that's really good for you, right? As an individual, that means the enemy, if they try to make a move on it, they're not going to be able to get it as easily as they'd like. So as soon as this extractor comes up, I go Harvester 4th, I upgrade this extractor, then I buy a mini base. So this is similar to my last play, except for my 5th building, I'm actually not going to go into another extractor because we just want to stay aggro. So I'm actually just going to try to get another Harvester down here, and then I'm throwing raid camps on everything, right? I'm just going to get some complementary units. The goal here is just to get a good amount of power immediately, and then right after that, just be able to effectively swarm the enemy with some really cool plays. So let's see. So we got that one. We're going to grab this mini base right around the 130 mark. First one comes up. I'm actually going to throw raid camp on that. Then I got this grunt down here. You're going to see I'm almost at 300 power. As soon as your 5th building comes up, save up your power and try to get yourself that Cloak Grunt upgrade. There comes active camo. And then from here, you're literally just producing grunts until you get any kind of semblance or understanding of what your enemy is going for. So what I'm going to do here is take this grunt. You normally won't have, you know, uncontested power crates for the enemy. What I do is I just go take something else, or I'll go for the other power crate, and then I go for the scout the second that it's done. Second LP, Conduit of Rage. So you'll see Cloak is almost done, and then I'm going to throw a Suicide Grunt or 2 in the mix, get another raid camp. So watch this. You see I'm going for this right now? I'm just going to go take this power node real quick. And you'll see how far it gets if you just go take it. The secret is to send a grunt to every single power node if you can pull it off, right? Like, that's the goal here. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to go scout, and you don't want to accidentally hit Y and spam it a million times and let your enemy know exactly what you're going for. You just kind of want to just get in there and get the scout. So you see I actually got the node, and now I'm just going to walk away and try not to kill any of these guys. So see, you're ready. I'm going to Cloak, and then I'm gonna grab this. And then the Sentinels are gonna start shooting at them. I think I just picked the wrong grunt. The hardest part here is just gonna be managing your grunts. You see this Slick, so I'm cloaked. He's dealing with the Sentinels. 70% done. And I'm just gonna go in here with this guy. And I'm gonna grab this. And it's just all about that multi-management process. Like, you know, making sure you have everything. And you're noticing I'm gonna complement this with a few enforcers too. I'm gonna pull this guy away. Cloaking. Pull this guy out. These grunts are actually helping me out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna cloak, and then I'm gonna go grab this. And you'll notice pretty much every time you will get it. Let's just grab this. Okay. So the Sentinels actually do cap it back. Sometimes it's a glitch. When that happens, you know, whatever. You just gotta do what you gotta do. Here we are rolling out across the map now. We still got Sentinels all over the map. And watch this, you know, oh yeah, you're gonna take my thing? Well, I'm just gonna cloak, and then I'm gonna take it back. You douche. See this? I'm able to completely cap a node without a problem. I walk away. And look, I'm about to have all 5 nodes, and then I immediately begin my assault. You know what I'm saying? That is pretty much the play. You want to drop in Conduit of Rage as soon as you can. Don't throw your Suicide Grunts into things. And then you have some Enforcers to complement the army. And look at this. This is actually the best case scenario is when the enemy actually goes in and tries to cap a base on you underneath your nose. And then as soon as you hit max pop, you just want to sack that 5th harvester, the 5th building, and go for another extractor. You just gotta hold forward and go and kill everything. So that is effectively the play. Notice you're at full pop before 5 minutes of rolling this strategy. Just constantly keep producing grunts. You have a good power income as well, which is surprising, right? I'm actually making another extractor right now, and I won't even need to worry about it here in a minute. Power-wise, I'm actually not even gonna upgrade it, and then I'm gonna split my units up here. I've got 8 Enforcers in the mix, which is really nice. You know, make Suicide Grunts if you need them. And then I'm going to go for Stasis next, just in case. And then we're going to get some more. Let's see, I'm actually going to try to Stasis a supply pad. Then all these guys get Conduit. And then I can hit the main base, and it stops the supply pad from working. So you see that? That's pretty much the play. From here, you just kind of walk through your enemy. I'm going to get Tech 2. And see, it's just overall, it's just a really nice play. Now, the cool thing is, too, I didn't even show you this, but you hit the Y button, and now your enemy can no longer see your army. So that's exciting, huh? Really good plays. Really like this build. This is actually something used by a couple pro players a couple seasons back in actually our grand finals that we hosted a tournament. We got videos of that if you want to go check that out. And it's just a really fun way to like get complete map control very quickly, swarm an army, and yeah. Of course, Suicide Grunts are a good counter to this play, but if you just cloak and they don't have any detector units, you are good to go. So that is that, the Cloak Grunt Rush. Alright, so this one's actually going to be a little bit different. So we're going to go Harvester first. We're going to do our normal, go out, grab some supply crates with 2 guys, and then go get a power crate with the 3rd. And what we're going to do actually is go Extractor second on this play. Always make sure to split your buildings up here. You want to make sure that it's the most difficult process possible for your enemies. And then the next thing we're going to want to do is actually go for Teleport on this. This is a really fun one. Upgrade your Harvester the second it's done. The idea is that you're going to always try to get 1 power crate off the start here because you're going to want to upgrade this Extractor ASAP. You're going to go into Harvester 3rd. And then next thing we're going to do with these 2 side grunts is run them to the mini bases accordingly as soon as the time frame does come up. And then we will actually take those as well and get some more harvester income. So this is the Arbiter Rush. This is like you make your Arbiter as quickly as possible. I honestly want to hesitate on calling it a rush now that I think about it. It's more just like an opener because you're not going to win the game with this play. You're really not. I mean, you might get lucky and do some serious damage, but you're not going to win it in most cases. The goal with this play is just to get your Arbiter out, be super strong with him, kill buildings. He does so much damage to buildings, and then of course do your best to just kind of suffocate your enemy in terms of eco. That's the goal with this play. So we got this up. We're actually going to War Council 5th. I'm so bad at counting still in this video. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take some supply crates on our side of the map. I like putting this guy in this garrison for a minute here. And then we're going to run and we're going to grab Power Node ASAP. We're going to need some more power income. After you get your mini base, you want to go Harvester on one, and then a raid camp on another. If you see that your enemy is going into more infantry, you're actually going to want to opt in for even more raid camps. You want to go for 2, and we're going to go raid camp on this one. You're going to notice that after your raid camp's done, you're able to after you start your raid camp, you're able to purchase not only 1 more grunt, but another Arbiter. I'm sorry, an Arbiter in the first place. So for the second LP, we're actually going to go for Conduit of Rage. Like to have myself teleport Conduit of Rage on this one, because snipers are a go-to thing now, right? Like, people make snipers on a regular basis, and if you're trying to open up with a hero like the Arbiter and just walk through your enemy, it makes things pretty difficult. But luckily with teleport you can get out of these sticky situations and run away. It also procs Conduit on all the remaining units that didn't teleport, and that's really good for you. So that's what we want. You're going to see the Arbiter comes out here. We're constantly producing grunts from this point. We're waiting on the raid camp until we know what the enemy is going for. And we're not spending any power, not a single ounce of power, until we can get the upgrade done on the Arbiter. Alright, so we're going to go get this node now. I'm going to shoot this guy, pop him off. So we're getting a node and the Arbiter is out. What we're immediately going to do is run up here. In any map in particular is going to be different. But in this one scenario, what I want to do is actually run up right behind his base here on Rift. So we're going to bring all of our grunts to the front, and we're going to send the Arbiter ahead of time in the back. Then we're going to sack this War Council and go for a Power Extractor fit. So now you can see, we got an Arbiter out, we're getting a sizable army. I made an Elite Enforcer to assist, and all of our infantry units are going to be rushing the front while our Arbiter is going around the back. So we're going to go up here to the mini base first. We're going to wait a little bit, keep producing a couple more units. Here comes the first attack, and we're just going to go take this. Oh, he's nice and quick. AIs are hacking. So it looks like we've got 2 turrets in the back, so normally you should be terrified out of your mind. But in this one situation, we're actually going to be A-okay. So we're going to push up here. Because of his turret play, I'm actually going to start producing more Elite Enforcers. This is just a situation case-by-case basis. But now I'm going to go into double raid camp and get two whole sets of Enforcers out to start killing stuff. So I'm going to wait a little bit. I got my power incomes rolling in. I got some more grunts. You're going to notice that you just walk through turrets pretty easily. Like I said, you see snipers. What you want to do is get some suicide grunts out to compensate. And I'm not even going to use my teleport until my Arbiter gets a little weaker. So there comes another raid camp. As soon as the raid camp's up, we're producing grunts the whole time. And then we're also going right into anti-base units. So we're going right into Enforcers from here. Another good play too is knocking them with stasis mines here. And another good play too is actually just teleporting the Arbiter around so that you get the conduit going on some of the units. And keep in mind that when the Arbiter does hit the Y button too, you get more benefits such as conduit. So it's just kind of, you're playing a long game. You know what I mean? You're going to notice that it's really hard to stop the Arbiter. He is super strong with his first upgrade, and look how much damage he does to buildings. Like, it truthfully is a lot. And the longer that he hits these buildings and whatnot, of course, it's absolutely insane. So we're going to get our next one here. I'm actually going to go for Stasis Mine to get even more conduit procs. That's the goal of the Arbiter, is just to get as many conduits as possible. Now my Arbiter is conduited. All these units are good to go. And we're going to hit the Y button occasionally with him and just like watch him just go through entire buildings. Look how much damage he does while he hits his rage mode. Absolutely insane. Nothing like Halo Wars 1, but still good, right? And that's effectively the play. You get the Arbiter out as quickly as possible, hit the Y button on him, kill these big value buildings such as advanced generators, any building producing buildings, unit producing buildings, sorry. And then after that, you pretty much just suffocate your enemy. You could even go take nodes if you want right now. Like, I'm just going to take this node. Things like that. This is just a stereotypical Arbiter hero opener, and the benefit of it is just pretty drastically insane. So that, I believe, encapsulates the 5 best plays that the Arbiter has. If you guys did enjoy this video, please let us know in the comment section below. And also, consider liking it if it taught you anything, and then subscribing if you do want to support us here at Breaking the Clutch. Thank you guys so much. Get excited for the next one. I want to give a huge shout out to all of the members here at the channel. Of course, if you guys do become members, you just got to click that join button. You can pick a tier if you do want to financially support us. It really does help us out and allows us to keep making these crazy videos, even at this point after Halo Wars has been out for 3 years. Huge shout out in particular to our Clutchest members. That would be Andy Huber, Slate Bronco, iYeetus Deletus, The Last Rebel, and of course the newly added Hunter Carpenter. Thank you to everybody on this page for financially supporting us and all BtC members. You guys are fantastic.